Here go my issue right here. BG done 12 years in prison. He did 12 years in prison. Yeah, I'm in the law. This man done 12 years in prison. He come home doing the exact same thing, same message. In my mind, I done 10. And I know when you do that kind of time, eventually you get around people who talking with some sense. After doing 12 years in the penitentiary, I guarantee you he's been around believers, he been around Muslims, he been around some solid dudes and soaked up a lot of information, probably read a lot of books, read a lot of business books. Why would you come home and do the exact same thing? That's the whole thing. Why would you come home and contribute once again to the demise of your own people? And this is what I did not understand when it come from I ain't never understood Boosie anyway. For why is it okay, or why do people think it makes sense just because you're saying this is how he makes his money, he makes a living? It does not mean that it's okay. Like you saying, so you telling me if a dope boy selling drugs, and somebody say to him, man, bro, you need to quit selling drugs, it's poisoning the community. With drugs, it's a physical product that people put in their body, and it harms them, and you can go to jail for it. See, people try to put it like that as if, oh, it's just music. It ain't harming nobody. Yes, it's no different. Matter of fact, actually, if you want to go into the spiritual realm, it hurts way worse than selling somebody a physical product. If you read the scripture, it say life and death is in the power of the tongue. Our words are the most powerful thing in the world. It's stronger than any drug you can take. It's stronger than alcohol. And listen to me. It's people right now who's suffering from trauma, from childhood trauma, because of things they parents and friends and people said to them when they were children. Word, like what to say, sticks and stones may break my bones. The words, listen to me, words will hurt you. I can still hear it to myself this day when my mama used to call me black. I didn't even like my skin complexion at one point. The words hurt way worse. If you can, I've heard many women say, look, check this out. I'd rather for a man to put their hands on me than emotionally abuse me. You can heal up and get over bruises and pain. But it's things that people say to you that will live with you forever. This stuff will pierce your soul and your spirit. It'll make you insecure. It'll bring low self-esteem. Listen to me. What's going on with you, Jada Wade? It will do certain things to you that takes way longer for you to recover. We have seen for decades on top of decades on top of decades that this music has an influence on the youth, on our children, and a lot of these grown folks who seem to think that music does not have an influence over you. That's the reason why you go out and you socialize and you drink. You listen to certain music that's telling you all of this stuff is cool. All of this stuff is the norm, and all of this stuff is all right. On top of your childhood trauma, on top of the trauma that you're dealing with, you try to find things to distract you from your reality, and the music ain't doing nothing but influencing you even more. So when these folks get on here like Boosie and say, oh, they wrong for that, listen to me, because people want to keep blaming the system. They want to keep saying it's the white man. Guess what? The white man at this point does not have to do anything. It's no different than the spiritual realm. The enemy at this point quit blaming stuff on the devil. The devil ain't even got to do nothing no more, because your brain and your heart is so callous and warped. You gonna do the destruction to yourself. Boosie, for some reason in his mind, believe that this is okay to do. It doesn't even make sense. This man's words and this man's influence is just as powerful, if not more powerful, than a physical narcotic. Like, I don't even understand why people think that, like, it don't even make sense. It don't even register. So it was a woman that got in the comment section and she said, And she was basically saying, what law did he break? Listen to me. For one, I said what he said. What did he sign? Because his probation officer ain't coming to him and just saying, hey, you're going to go back to jail if you... Boom, 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 boom. What did he sign? He breaking the law. Number two, Boosie, since you got so much sense, you're a convicted felon, and you know convicted felons don't supposed to be together. You're on the internet saying, oh, because he came and did a show with me. Bro, you gonna help him get locked up. That is proof right there. That is proof that he's been around a convicted felon. It doesn't even make sense. Number three, like I said, when you sit in there and you have done all of that time, you done soaked up all of that wisdom, you come home and you ain't been home 7 days, you ain't said nothing to the public, and I ain't saying he has to, but I'm saying if you don't went public with your music, don't expect that other people ain't expecting something publicly to come out for you to condemn that lifestyle, for you to say that it ain't the way, for you to say, you know what I'm saying, the penitentiary this and the penitentiary. Now, I come home from the penitentiary. And people do believe that you have an obligation and a duty to speak against that lifestyle. I'm a firm believer of that. This man was a heroin addict, and 9 times out of 10, he sold drugs too. He's been down that path. Dude, you're 50 years old. Why would you come home, jump back on the same thing? You ain't came home and said nothing. We ain't seen you online say nothing against the lifestyle. We ain't heard you say nothing against what it done to your mental. We ain't heard you say nothing against the struggles that you had. We ain't heard you say nothing. You get on here and talk about having straps, beefing with Lil Wayne, talking about, listen, bro, that is mind-blowing to me that I watch so many grown men jump in my comment section and say, oh, you wrong for saying lock him up. If you want to have a real conversation, bro, I understand this man got a family. I understand he's got a family to feed. But in the black community, for some reason, we choose to excuse people's behavior and we don't want to hold them accountable. Accountability is bigger than his family. We talking about people. So is it okay? This is my question that I want to ask. So is it okay for a drug dealer to make money just to feed his family while he destroy the community? No. Use your mind. Use Cardi B, for instance, when they was on that live that time and she told her little girl that she couldn't even listen to her own music. You understand that music has an influence. It makes these little girls' body move a certain type of way. She won't even let her own daughter listen to the music, but for her to feed her own family, she'll put it out to the masses and let everybody else be distracted and destruct themselves. That's insane. For you to know that a lot of these younger dudes and young women do not have a strong mind. They don't have mature people around them to even help them understand the direction that they really need to go in. But then you will come home and you will jump right back in this, and guess what they already said? This is a living legend. This is an OG. And if you're a real OG and you're a living legend, my question is, why ain't you showing a different example? You almost 50 years old. We need to change the definition of what an OG look like. These folks want to call Boosie an OG. This man is still standing on stage saying and doing the things he's doing. He's almost 50. He's a multi-millionaire. And people will excuse that with saying, well, that's all he know. No. People continue to do what worked for him. Because if you thinking for 1 minute, what's going on with you, Springfield? If you think for 1 minute, this man did sit in prison and educate himself when it comes, I ain't talking about the education system that the system has created, talking about getting a GED. I seen somebody talk about where he just got his GED. I don't care nothing about that. I'm talking about if you think he ain't sitting there and educated himself and sit around intelligent men, because I promise you, there's no way you do 12 years and come home and you don't sit around some mature conversations. This man done sit around and had some mature conversations. You want to say that's all he know? No. I done 10. My last 2.5 years, guess what I realized? I'm about to get ready to go home, and I do not want to go home in the same condition. And guess what leverage and guess what advantage that this man had over me? The advantage this man had over me was as soon as he stepped out of the door, them people that he was surrounded by when he left, them folks dropped hundreds of thousands of dollars on him. This man came home situated and straight. I don't want to hear nothing about he had to get on his feet. I will guarantee you that man had over $1 million within the first 7 days. So within them first 7 days, and he had all of that money, and this man still chose to do what? He chose to speak to the what he assumed is the weak-minded people in our culture, in our community, that he feel that we gonna continue to accept. That's what happened. I'm finna go home and I don't even care. He still want to just throw his people under the bus. And if anybody want to disagree with that, then listen to me. You need to take that up with your spirit. You need to take that up with your spirit, because we the first people who holler and scream that we want better for our people, we want better for our community, we want better for our children. But then as soon as the facts come out and somebody say, hey, that's wrong, boom, 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 it's all they hating. Why you want another man locked up? My question to you, and then they want to bring up pedophilia and other people and this. We can't have two conversations at once. We can have a P. Diddy conversation. But let me tell you something, and it's probably going to be hard for a lot of people to even to understand what I'm about to say. When you go to the penitentiary, they do not put pedophiles and murderers on two separate parts of the penitentiary. They put pedophiles and murderers in the same ground, in the same unit. And listen to what I'm going to tell you. A pedophile is no different than a murderer. Y'all folks will say in your mind, oh, that person did this and did that to some kids, but this person took out somebody mama, somebody daddy, somebody brother, somebody uncle, somebody cousin. And a lot of people they'll treat that as if that's honorable. You will look at it and say, oh, he got a body. Somebody's life is gone forever, and you want to compare apples to oranges. To me, it's all fruit. What are you thinking? It doesn't even make sense. Oh, he come in, he did something to some kids, we ought to mistreat him. This man took out somebody's mama because he was trying to rob somebody for $200. Somebody's granny is gone. Somebody's nephew is gone. Somebody's cousin is gone. Somebody, listen, that doesn't even make sense. Why you want them folks to get mistreated, but them folks get to go in there and brag and say, oh, I got a body. Yeah, that don't even make sense to me. Make it make sense. Double tap the screen. Double tap the screen. And if you ain't already following me, go on and hit the follow button. But people got it misconstrued, man. People got this thing misconstrued. Hold on one second, because I ain't done talking. Hold on. And then look, and I'm gonna tell you, they lent over. They lent over, family. They lent over. I'm gonna tell you something else to you people get on here and say. Watch this here. Hold on, I ain't done. I'm just getting started. Y'all double tap the screen, man. Y'all said I ain't been on here for a little minute. Well, y'all double tap the screen for me so we can get the people in here so we can go and have a real conversation. Because evidently ain't nobody having real conversation around here. I think all the black folks just want us to scream the same thing. They want us all to be fake. Double tap the screen real quick. What's up with you, blood? I ain't see you in a minute. This is another thing right here. Somebody gonna jump. These folks jump in my comment section. They gonna say, well, you did the same thing. You've been on here telling stories about prison. What's going on with you, J1? You've been on here telling all these prison stories about these women that you met, and then that book you wrote, you was in there talking about your life, and that's the same thing BG doing. When? BG ain't doing nothing. Ain't nowhere near doing the same thing that I was doing. Every time I told a story, I had a message in it, and it's still to this day. That man ain't dropped no song and gave no credit to the Most High. Tell me who he done disciple. Tell me who he done gave Christ. Tell me who he done talked to and sit down and let them folks know that ain't the way to go. That ain't what that man done said since he been home. Every time I done got on here and said something, I let people know that this ain't the life to live. Yeah, I could get on here and say it in the manner that I say it and cut up, but guess what you ain't gonna get away from? You ain't gonna get away from me screaming who changed my life and gave me the life that I have today. I ain't came home and surrounded myself with people who still living the same type of lifestyle, having the same type of conversation, running around in the same type of environment. What does change look like? Change change is not change. Change is a 180. You go in the opposite, different direction. It's not a 360. This man came home and did a 360. And when you do a 360, guess what you do? You right back in the same direction. You're going in the same direction that you was in before you went in. I mean, so if you surrounded by the same people, having the same conversation, and you expecting different results, that is the definition of insanity. It doesn't even make sense, bro. It doesn't even make sense for people to say, well, you came home and you did. I told all my stories. What's going on with you? What's up with you, Jan? I told all my stories in the name of the King. I got hundreds and probably thousands of messages where people done said, I appreciate what you said. Tell me where you done seen BG do that. And then they gonna say, well, give him some time. Give him some time for what? I wasn't home 24 hours. Listen, I wasn't home 24 hours and I was already speaking against everything that I once stood for. Ain't no such thing as give these people time. If you think 12 years ain't enough time to sit down and realize I'm not finna come home with the same message, y'all people are insane to me. And if you feel some type of way, we can get in the comment section. I'll go back and forth with y'all day. But as of right now, commercial break me, please. Double tap the screen. Double tap the screen, and if you ain't already following me, you can hit the follow button. And if you're saying something in my comment section, please jump in the comment section right now where I can talk to you face to face on this line, and then I can understand, and then we can see who got some sense. Because as of right now, the people in the comment section who thought I said something wrong, you the one that ain't got no sense. And what you ain't gonna do is try to make me feel like I ain't the one who got sense. And I'm gonna stand on what I said. Ain't no sense. Listen. Ain't no sense. Somebody said, why, if you done been to prison for 10 years, why would you wish prison on somebody? Listen, I'm gonna tell you what I told them. In the spiritual realm, let's talk about the enemy. In the spiritual realm, for some reason, when it comes to on the evil side, people would influence the famous people, the popular people, the people who basically get to say what's law, what's right and what's wrong. These are the ones who constantly slip through the cracks. I'm talking about the boosters of the world. Listen to me. And then see, this is what happens when it comes to the system. When it comes to the system, you always got your big man who moving the bricks of cocaine, right? You always got your big man who moving the bricks. But guess who always get locked up? Guess who always getting robbed? Guess who always ended up in situations? The little man. The little man is the one that they always end up catching, and he always the one realizing when he sit in prison that he was just a foot soldier. He always the one who realizing he was just a pawn. And the big man, guess what he keep doing? He keep doing what he doing. If you look at it in that light, them people that's in the music industry, them folks is the same way. Them folks got enough money to pay off lawyers. Them folks got enough influence for people like us. They get in the comment section and ask us to sign a petition, and then people like Kodak Black, who constantly keep getting out of jail, back and forth to jail, got a drug problem, constantly getting caught with guns. The TIs and all of them people of the world, they keep on slipping through the cracks. And even though some people call them the police, they say they did this and they say they did that, they don't lose their influence and power. You know why? Because in the spiritual realm, the enemy using them as the puppet master for us to get to the weaker vessel, for us to keep going to jail. Because guess what we're going to end up with? We're going to end up with a public defender. Guess what we're going to end up doing? Not being able to take care of our family. We done left our mamas and our daddies, and we done left our kids out here, and we calling home, and then you realize, oh, the streets done did me wrong. Ain't nobody sent you no money. Ain't nobody breaking no bread. And then when you get home, guess what? Ain't nobody gonna give you a dime. When all of them folks who in the leadership position, guess what them folks, when them folks come home after doing 10 years in prison, go look at Finesse 2 times, for instance. Finesse 2 times came home, they picked him up in a jet, gave him millions of dollars right on the spot. And then since he been home, guess what he been talking about? Degrading women and selling drugs and getting people shot. Now, and then, but you have your regular degular person who come home after doing 10 years, and guess what I came home to? Nothing. I had 1 pair of shoes and 10 outfits for 365 days and committed my entire life to the streets. When I say I lived it, I lived it. But when I talk about it, it's not to glorify it. It's not to say that it's cool. I do it so people can get an understanding, so they can see that this ain't it. But them leaders who constantly are under the grip and under the control of the enemy, them folks don't care nothing about the lower man because they have a sense of they have a hinge of protection, and it ain't from the king. That's why them folks they continue to do what they doing and how they do it. And then our kids, y'all see the little boy Finesse 2 times got with him, don't you? Y'all see the little boy, and in the name of protection, this man is saying, "Oh, he got him." Man, this man around people, man, dude, what? Somebody said entertainment is entertainment, and see, that's another problem right there when it comes to the spirit. What you mean entertainment is entertainment? Do you believe in good and evil? That's a question. Do you believe in good and evil when you say entertainment is entertainment? That's a yes or no question. I don't need no explanation. I don't need none of that. The question is, do you believe in good and evil? Okay. Can entertainment be good? Can entertainment be evil? Yes or no? I ain't asking for no explanation. Can entertainment be in a form of evil? Yes or no? Yes or no? I want the person who said that to come on here and answer the question. Can entertainment be in the form of evil? Yes or no? Can you answer the question, please? I'm waiting on that person. Because saying entertainment is entertainment, that's a problem with us right here. That's a problem with us. Because I have to turn around and ask you, is what Sexyy Red doing good or evil when we talking about entertainment? Answer the question. Is the music that Sexyy Red put out, is it good or evil? Answer the question. You can't. Where you go at? Tell the person who just said entertainment is entertainment. Come on here and answer the question. Is the music that Sexyy Red putting out, is it good or evil? Is it good or evil? Are you gone? Are you gone now? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, they gonna say I ran off with this one. And just so they won't say, oh, he brung up Sexyy Red. Okay, is the music that Moneybagg Yo drop, is it good or evil? Yes or no? That's all I need an answer to. Is the music that they put out good or evil? Because we ain't gonna say it's just entertainment. Let me tell you, matter of fact, let's go a little deeper. Since you saying it's entertainment, these folks worth $100 million, and who done help put that money in their pocket? For one, ignorant people like us who continue to listen to their music, right? But then ain't no accountability on them, and why would it be? And why would it be when they realize that we ain't gonna stop listening to it? If we quit streaming, if black folks got together tomorrow, 100 million of us, and said we through streaming this music, we through listening to it, then what they gonna do? Cause we the one who getting it to them. We the ones who getting it to them, huh? And we're gonna do it all in the name of a vibe. It was a mood. We had a time last night. It was a vibe. It was a mood. You came home and you had a hangover. You came home and couldn't remember what you done. You came home and woke up and said, I ain't doing that no more. And then you went and you did it again. You went home and you messed around and slept around with somebody that you don't even remember that you slept with. And you did it and you said it was in the name of entertainment and the mood and the vibe and fun. That's what it is. And then the whole time you ain't even realizing you're distracted and lost. It doesn't even make sense. You're distracted and you're lost. And guess what? You probably ain't got $10,000 in your bank account. What sense does that make? When them millionaires, when them folks who going out misleading you and they having a good time, they can afford to do it. Them folks is driving Maseratis. Them folks got on $100,000 worth of jewelry. And the whole time, y'all let your kickouts and your hangout and saying it's a mood and it's a vibe and can't even pay your bills when the first hit. You waiting for a stimulus check to hit again. Matter of fact, you want another pandemic to hit just so you can quit your job and get unemployment for the next 6 months and get you a stimmy check. And that's the life that we think is cool. And that's the truth. And I stand on that. Because I'm gonna tell you something I noticed when that pandemic hit, it showed a lot of priorities is out of whack. It showed that you really don't take care of your business the way you need to take care of your business. Because a lot of people wouldn't even survive if it wasn't for that stimmy. If you and listen to me, it's a lot of y'all right now. You're praying for the PPP to come back around because you want the PPP. And a lot of y'all don't went and got your LLC just because you want to go get your SBA loan. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. And these folks want to get on here and think it's cool to glorify this stuff. That's cool to say this stuff. And then soon as I was waiting on somebody to get them. Yeah, I made a movie. Okay, let's talk. Let me follow you back real quick. Okay, look, check this out. So I got a series out right now. It's called Trapped. It's on Patreon if you want to go over and check it out. I had a couple of people jump on here and say that they was upset about what I done put in Trap. Let me tell you something. First and foremost, I'm a fisherman. My whole platform has been built on fishing. Anybody on here, they started watching my stories based on the way that I told the story. But it's not a story that you can go and find. When I first started, it did not have a message in it. What I'm doing right now is not called Traps for no reason. I'm doing the exact same thing that I've been doing when I started. I got to say something to get your attention. The video that I just dropped, what's going on, Tosh? The video that I just dropped on Instagram that's almost got 100,000 views on it. The reason it's got 100,000 views on it is because I said something to catch people's attention in order for them to hear what I had to say. Whether they disagree with me or not, I got my point across. So when I get on here and I say something, then let me see what that is. So when I drop a story time and I say I slept with a correction officer and then I'm explaining the way it happened, I'm using words in order to grab your attention to get you over here. And once I get you over here, I'm gonna say what I got to say. Traps is no different. I started using when I started Traps, my message was when I get close to the end, I'm going to show people this is what happens when you live this type of lifestyle, when you surround yourself with these type of people, when you want to stay in this type of environment. Because I'm going to say this right here for the people who want to throw out and say, well, you doing the same thing. If I drop a movie right now and start off with talking about God, if I start off with just talking about positive things, if I start a video right now talking about nothing but positivity, it'll have no views on it. Ain't nobody gonna listen. If I started off and I give you the real and I start talking about things that's really going on, it's gonna get your attention, and then I can hit you with a message and you could be like, man, that was real. That's the generation that we live in right now. And that's the reason why a lot of pastors and a lot of bishops and a lot of these ministers can't reach people, because you don't want to talk about nothing but the word. You don't want to give these folks nothing to relate to, or you ain't got nothing they can relate to. If I drop a movie right now and the only thing I'm talking about is God, guess what they're going to want to say? I don't want to listen to that. You know why? Because our mind and our hearts are so perverted. And a lot of people don't know how to fish. You don't know how to reach people. Ain't nobody taught you how to reach people. And you thinking, I was young before. You thinking the life I was living, somebody was just going to be able to pull up on me and tell me a bunch of, man, I don't know what you talking about. Every scripture you quote, now, I don't know, what is you talking about? It don't even make sense. You got to give these folks something to understand. You got to be able to paint a picture. That's what it is. And where you go at? Where you go at? Because I ain't seen you yet. No, it ain't even that I'm explaining myself. I just be trying to figure out. It bothers me sometimes when I be watching how some of these people think. That is scary. It should be. I can't get my words out. It's so scary. I can't even get that. And these are grown men. Let's go even further. These are grown men who are saying, bro, you watch. Listen, pay attention to what I'm say. Y'all double tap the screen real quick. Double tap the screen. If you ain't already following me, hit the follow button. I'm gonna go deeper. These are grown black men with children who say you wrong for saying he should be locked up because of what he's doing. Bro, you got kids, bro. Do you understand what I'm saying? Listen to me. If your kids walk down the street and see some crime, would you tell your kids they shouldn't call the police? That's a legitimate question. If your kids walking, because I'm trying to paint an overall picture of what a community should look like. I'm a taxpaying citizen. Listen to me. If I go outside right now, start with Eshawn Burgundy, DJ. If I go outside right now and I see somebody breaking the law, 15 years ago, I'd have turned my eye to it. You know why? Because if I do something, I don't want nobody to call the police on me. That's the programming and the way I was taught to live. I was taught it was wrong. Not only that, I watched a lot of my people that I was around who was taught not to put the police in your business because the police in the system is designed to break us. Let me tell you something. I've watched situations where the police, listen to me, they have to be called. It ain't no way I'm living and I'm a taxpaying citizen. I'm doing and I walk outside and see somebody that's doing something, and you think I ain't finna, I'm calling the police on you. Listen, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm gonna keep it funky with you like a fart. I've been waiting to call the police on somebody. Yeah, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I've been waiting to see somebody breaking the law, because I ain't never been able to do it. Break the law you want to. I'm on the opposite end of life. I'm gonna call the police on you. You're going down. Yeah, you're going down. I'm coming to court and anything. Do something. As a matter of fact, threaten me. I'm gonna call the police on you. Yeah, I'm gonna call the police on you. People call the police on, listen to me why I say that. People call the police on me all my life. And in my mind, guess what I said? They were suckers, they were soft. I can't believe they did that. And guess what? Them folks went on and lived their life. It ain't been not one person, and when they say snitches get stitches, I ain't seen not one person get no stitches. And they snitches end up in ditches. I ain't seen not one snitch end up in a ditch. Listen, man, I would have done 10 years and them people was in the front page paper labeled as an informant. Listen, them folks was in the front page paper. Them folks said them folks was informant. Them folks was in the hood at the dice game shooting dice the 3 days after the paper. What street codes and laws am I supposed to abide after that? Ain't gonna happen, Kevin. You're going to jail, point blank. But look, to stay on my point real quick, when you have influence, we talking about the spiritual realm. It's a life and death is in the power of the tongue. There's another scripture where it says, it's not what goes in the body that defiles a man. Listen, it's what comes out of the mouth. Because what comes out of the mouth, it comes from the heart. That's what defiles a man. So when you listening to what these people are saying, they are telling you who they are and what they represent. So if they talking about murder, listen to me, it's in their heart. If they talking and always talking about drinking, listen to me, it's in their heart. If they talking about belittling women and how they treat their women, listen to me, it's in their heart. If they talking about stealing and getting over and selling dope, listen to me, it's in their heart. So when you say, listen to me, when we talking about in the spirit, listen to me, that's where the issue lie. Because you thinking, it need to be something they done with the law as far as how we have been brought up and how we have been taught. Now, some of these folks need to be locked up because of how they live, the things that they saying, the people that they around, the influence that they have. Some of them don't even have to do nothing because they in a hierarchy in the evil realm. They don't have to say nothing. They say enough and it get down in the spirit of people who believe that they really about that life. So they ain't even got to do it. The weaker vessel is going to do it. Yeah, lock him up. I'm going to stand on that. So, and when your kids, the ones start picking up the pack and start hustling and doing stuff to people and doing this and this and that, and then they gonna say, well, you should have raised your own kids. Music don't have no influence. Listen to me. That's why they say it takes a village to raise a child. Some people just don't care to have accountability and responsibility and understand that they have influence. So the people who come to understand that and have woke up and realized that them folks is the enemy, of course we gonna agree. Because we gonna realize, because what child wanna listen to their parent? Let's keep it real. Let's keep it funky now. A lot of parents use outside people to talk to their children because children, just like police officers, they feel like they parents always trying to keep their foot on their neck. That's why they always calling uncle, they calling cuz, or they ask them, hey, if you get a chance, say something to them, because they already know 9 times out of 10, the daughter, she ain't even trying to listen to her mama. She ain't there. He ain't really trying to listen to his dad because he always feel like they trying to keep you away from the fun. So, hey, you done been locked up before, man. You get a chance, man. Say something to my cousin. Say something to you know what I'm saying, say something to him, man, because he ain't listening to me. So don't get on here and tell me that influence don't go a long way. Quit playing, man. These folks, what type of thinking? Quit playing. Quit playing. And then this person on here, DJ, you keep asking me what kind of movies I watch, what kind of music I listen to. Well, ask me the question that you want to ask me, because what sense does all of that make? What sense does that? Because it sounds like you basically trying to say, well, if you saying that, everybody who making certain type of movies need to be locked up. Everybody who listen to certain type of, if they doing this type of music, it sounds like that's what you trying to say. And the truth of the matter is, you're not making any kind of sense to me. You're not making any kind of sense. You're not making any kind of sense. It ain't making no kind of sense. Let's do this right here first. Because you can't answer a question with a question. Let's do this right here. With what I'm saying, because you asking me without having the conversation that we have. You can't have two conversations at once. What I'm saying is, what he doing, to me, in my opinion, from the life that I live, is wrong. The message that he putting out is wrong. And in doing that, he signed paper on parole, and if he violate that parole, he goes to jail. And then saying that, for some reason, I think you misunderstand what I'm trying to say. Tell me what I said wrong. Tell me what I said wrong. Point blank, period. Because these other people you talking about, them folks didn't go do 12 years in prison. Them folks didn't come home and sign a paper that say I can't do A, B, and C, and X, Y, and Z, because I'm a felon. And I know if I go right now and I ride around with a weapon and them folks pull me over, I cannot go in the courts in the ignorance of the law and say I'm trying to protect myself. I know it don't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You can't have two conversations at once. We're having a conversation about something specific. Let's have that conversation. Then we can have the other conversation. Point blank, period. That's what most people want to do. You want to deflect and go our way somewhere else when we having a conversation about something specific. It make sense, man. Wrong is wrong. Wrong is wrong. It has a negative influence. If he signed it on the paper, there it is. There it is. So what we talking about? And that's how I started it right there. I said they gave him a second chance after doing 12 years. And the first thing he come home and talk about is the exact same thing. And who he trying to sell it to? Not only is he doing the exact same thing, who is he trying to sell it to? Because white folks ain't listening to him. Asians ain't listening to him. Might be a couple of Hispanics who listening to him. Who he come home trying to push it on? Who he trying to get to? Who he trying to get to? That's crazy. His community. His own race. That's crazy. Double tap the screen for me real quick. Pop, pop. Double tap the screen, and if you ain't already following me, hit the follow button. Let me tell you something. One thing I learned in ministry a long time ago. A lot of times when people speak the word, they give you the word, and sometimes they don't give you solutions. They don't give you solutions because there's a lot of people trying to figure out how to make the change, but they don't really have a solution. It's easy to quote a bunch of scriptures and say, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to get on here and quote Philippians 4:13 and say, I can do all things through Christ I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. It's easy to get on here and say, he who started a good work will complete it onto the day of Christ. And then they tell you to stay encouraged and this and that. A lot of time what people ain't giving you is what they had to go through, and the healing process that they had to go. Because let me tell you something, healing, when when you talking about healing, it's a practice. Healing does just not happen and then you good. Because what you have to understand that all of us have layers on top of layers on top of layers of trauma. So when you got layers and layers on top of layers of trauma, a lot of times when you even want to get a relationship with the Most High, you want to get to know the Most High, sometimes it's hard for you to even fathom or comprehend that you can even get there because you got layers and layers on top of trauma. And then you trying to figure out, you reading the scripture and you saying, well, what's the process? How do I get there? Because you can, the process of the healing, it could start, but it don't mean that somebody ain't gonna step on the wound in just a second. And then when they step on that wound, you might get triggered. You might actually say something you used to say. You might even do something that you used to do. But what you ain't gonna understand is sanctification is a process. It's not an event. I'm gonna say it again. Sanctification is a process. It's not an event. Just because you fall short, it does not mean that the Spirit has not started to work in you. That's why everything is supposed to be a practice. You're supposed to look at the evolution and the growth of the person. A lot of us don't celebrate the growth. And some people been in situations for so long, if their growth is this small right here, you need to go on and give them an applause. It's some people who would have shot off on you as soon as you said or done what you done. But if that person took a deep breath and said, you know what, and then still shot off on you, sometimes you got to go on and applaud that person because they took the deep breath, because they probably wouldn't even took the deep breath before. That's the little stuff that you got to celebrate. But to get to it, when it comes to the growth, for instance, right? When it come to growing, they say life and death is in the power of the tongue. And sometimes you got to understand, you got to get out of your environment. You got to start speaking life over yourself, because there's too many of us who have been surrounded by people our entire life that do not know how to speak life over you. You know why? Because they tired, they broken, they bitter, they angry, they insecure, they got low self-esteem, they've been jealous all of their life, and a lot of them, it's not even their fault. It's not even their fault. It's because what other people spoke over them and how other people treated them. And now the only thing they know is to hurt other people because they hurting. But then when you realize, see, it's only a couple of people that every now and then they come from the family that's been the black sheep, and you start to wake up and them scales fall off your ass, and then you start to realize, I got to change certain things over. And see, I went through that process. But see, one of my questions to the Most High used to always be, what does that look like and how do I do it? Because everybody quoting scriptures and they ain't telling me the process that I need to go through in order to make the change and become what it is I see I can be. And see, that's when I started researching things like when it came to sanctification. Like I said, it's a process, it's not an event. See, that helped me when I was being hard on myself, and when I did fall, I understood that does not mean that I have not started to grow. So I started looking at the areas that I knew the areas that I needed to work on, and then working in that, I would look back. When I did fall, I would look back and say, well, you know, back then I would have did this, I would have did this, I would have did this, I would have applied it this way, I would have did it, boom, boom, boom. And this time I didn't do that. So when I started celebrating the growth, I started paying attention to patterns. You have to pay attention to your patterns, and you need to know you got to know your vices as well. So look, check this out. So one of my scriptures that I like to quote, that I like to read and I like to go over, it says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. See, people can tell you that, but then when they don't break it down to you, you don't have nothing to pray. You don't know how to practice it. But see, that's the difference. See, the music has an influence because the music will tell you how to practice it. See, the music will tell you, bend over, do this, let it breathe, twerk, boom, 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 boom. It's telling you the process and how to do it. See, a lot of times when people read, what they don't get is the process and how to do it. See, if you break down the scripture and you say, you know, do not be conformed to this world. What you got to break down is, okay, what does the world look like? I don't know what it looked like to you. But to me, the world looked like selling dope. The world looked like robbing. The world looked like sleeping with woman after woman after woman after woman after woman. The world looked like carrying myself a certain type of way and doing, it said, do not be conformed. So when you look that word up, conform, and then you understand, you say, boom, boom, boom. Okay, so I know what that looked like. I know what that looked like, and I know what conforming is. So then to get to the process, and then it say, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. When it say be transformed, it literally means, I just told you what not to conform to, you know what it looked like. The second thing is going to be ye transformed. It means to form new ideas. How do you do that? You have to start. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. You have to form new ideas. So at that point, anytime one of them corrupted, evil, wicked ideas popped in my mind, I literally had to do what the scriptures say in Corinthians: cast everything that exalts itself against the knowledge of the Most High, bring it down into captivity onto the obedience of Christ, and put something else in there when it came to the thinking. Listen, I'm gonna say it again, and put something else in there when it came to the thinking. It's a lot of people on the line right now. You're probably pessimistic, and the only reason you pessimistic and think negative all the time because things either don't go right. People always ending up being exactly who you thought they were, doing exactly what you thought they was gonna do, wearing the mask that you knew that they was wearing. And so now you have a pessimistic mindset about every single thing around you, and you move with a sense of paranoia, and you calling yourself guarded when really it's just a form of brokenness, and you don't know how to overcome it because it's just down in your spirit. And see, in order to do that, see, that's a part of conforming too, because when you conform to the world, listen to me, it keeps you away from the fruits of the spirit: the love, the joy, the peace, the kindness, the gentleness, the self-control. It keeps you away from them types of things, and it keeps you guarded, and it keeps you back, and then it delay your blessings. You don't even know what a blessing look like no more, because to you don't even think you should receive a blessing. So in order to do that, what you have to do, you have to form new ideas. You have to start planting in your spirit and saying, now some friends, some good godly friends are going to come around. Now I am going to end up in the position that I want. Now this is going to happen. Now you know what? I ain't even going to say that. I used to give you my energy. I used to give you my time. I used to let you have an effect on me. I ain't going to let you push my buttons, because what I've come to understand is that's why you think you still have some kind of attachment to me, because you know when I get upset to you confuse my emotions and thinking that means I still want you to have a piece of me. So in order to do that, you know what? I'm going to change the way that I was thinking about this. I'm going to form a new idea. I ain't even going to cuss you out. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to respond to your message. Matter of fact, I'm going to let you say what you want to say, and I'm going to say if that's how you feel, then I respect how you feel. And look, I may not, but I apologize. I'm going to go on about my way. At some point, you got to start confusing the enemy with your response. When you start confusing the enemy with your response, then the enemy gonna sit back, and guess what he gonna have to do? He gonna have to flee for a minute, and he gonna have to come back a little more desperate, and he gonna have to bring him some foot soldiers with him, because you gonna overcome that. You gonna overcome how he used to come to you. So you might well gonna get ready for that too, because it's different levels to when it's different devils. You know what I'm trying to say? Different levels with different devils, different levels. However you want to put it, vice versa, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Vertical or horizontal. You know what I mean? That's how it's gonna happen. But you just use the same process. It's the same process. You realize what's going on. You plant something different in your mind. You let something different come out of your mouth, because life and death is in the power of the tongue. Like the scriptures say, it's not what goes in the body, it's what comes out of the mouth, because what comes out of the mouth, it comes from the heart. And when it's coming from the heart, that's where all that evil and wicked is that you need to replace. That is the process right there. Put something else in your mind, speak something else into the atmosphere, and when you do that, expect to receive that. That's having that mustard seed of faith, and eventually it's going to get down in your spirit, and eventually it's going to start manifesting into your life. Like the scriptures say those things that are not as though they are. Quit speaking them things that you think going to go wrong. Quit saying to yourself how these people going to end up being. Quit saying that stuff to yourself, because you ain't doing nothing but speaking it over your life. The scripture told you that. The scripture told you that. So if you're trying to figure out what the process is, that's the process right there. Because listen, I promise you, I went through it. And still practicing it to this day. Healing is still taking place into this day. I understand it's a day-to-day process. It's a day-to-day process. I'm not looking to be perfect. I'm looking to be better. You hear me? We ain't looking for perfection. We just looking to be better. Be better than you were yesterday. That's it. That's all. Just be better than you were yesterday. It's a process, not an event. And I'm going to leave it right there. The spirit, I ain't got nothing else to say. Ain't no sense to me to keep talking. I ain't going to keep trying to add to it. That was the word. I'm done. All honor to the Most High, to the King. Grateful for the blood of Yeshua, who we know is Jesus the Christ, who shed his blood for all mankind, who was pierced in his side. And see, look. Y'all go, yeah. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. And we are the children of Israel. Yeah. It's still a thing. It's still a thing. It's still a thing. Yeah, it's still a thing. Hey, look, I'm finna get ready to roll though. If you just got on here, man, and you want to see this live, I'm gonna put it on my YouTube. My YouTube is Joe Baker. Man, if you've been rocking with me, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't, if you just got here, hey, get ready, because it's going to be a ride. We're going to be rocking. Man, y'all be blessed. Y'all hold it down. Y'all say y'all prayers before y'all go to sleep, man. Call your people. Look, I'm going to say this before I go. If you've been having some kind of beef with somebody, if you've been holding some kind of grudge, or whatever the case may be, look, that apology that you're looking for, it's probably not going to never come. And sometimes you got to understand that forgiveness is not for the other person. A lot of times it's for yourself. Because a lot of people carry stuff, and it's because you ain't got to the point of where you done released it and forgave yourself. You done apologized way too many times. You done tried to be, listen. My series is on Patreon. And what you need to do, man, is just go ahead and let that go. You need to go ahead and let that go, because it's only going to get heavier. And it's a lot of people who don't even realize it's your heart they're taking advantage of, because these people that you waiting on an apology for, I promise you, these folks are sleeping like babies. They don't even care that you just messed up in your mind about whatever happened. Man, let that go. Go ahead and speak your piece and whatever you need to say. Go on about your day. And look, don't take them grudges to the grave. Don't take them grudges to the grave. Don't keep taking them grudges to your bed. Don't keep carrying them grudges, because I promise you, them grudges is gonna get heavy. Them grudges gonna get real heavy, and the enemy gonna keep using it and keep putting that weight on you. And you gonna look up and you gonna realize that stuff didn't even matter. Y'all be blessed. I'm gone.